The world's only place that may still be unexplored and filled with mysteries is its oceans. The oceans cover more than 70% of Earth's surface. Most oceans have a depth of about 3.7 kilometers, but some parts exceed 11 kilometers. The Mariana Trench, a place deep below where, despite freezing cold and incredible pressure, it hosts beings waiting to be discovered. But do we really know what is hidden in a place so deep? How exactly was this trench discovered? What did the Soviet Union have to do with it? And are the secrets behind the two mysterious sound recordings captured in the Mariana Trench known today? In this video, we will search for answers to all of these questions and descend together into the depths of the Mariana Trench for a mystery-filled journey. Around 180 million years ago, while dinosaurs ruled the land during the Jurassic period, a war began in the depths of the ocean. Two gigantic tectonic plates slowly but irresistibly collided. The Pacific plate began to slide beneath the Philippine plate. This massive weight pulled the ocean floor downward and created the deepest scar on our planet, the Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench stretches 2,550 kilometers across the ocean floor. Its deepest point lies 10,984 meters below the surface. Recent measurements suggest the depth exceeds 11,000 meters. A place horizontally as vast as continents and vertically deep enough to swallow Mount Everest. And by 1872, it was on the verge of being discovered. Chapter 1. The Discovery. The HMS Challenger embarked on one of the greatest global ocean expeditions in history. Their mission was to map the ocean floor, and they traveled nearly 70,000 miles around the world, roughly one-third of the distance between Earth and the Moon. During the journey, they took measurements at 350 different points. To do this, they used a long rope attached to a metal weight. When the weight touched the bottom, the depth could be calculated. These voyages produced the first rough map of the ocean floor. During one of these stops, near Guam Island in the Western Pacific, they lowered the rope. The rope screeched as it uncoiled. Minutes passed, yet it kept sinking and the reel spun even faster. 3,000 meters, 5,000 meters, 7,000 meters. The crew watched in shock. The rope still hadn't reached the bottom. Finally, the reel stopped. When the depth was calculated, they couldn't believe it. 4,475 fathoms, 8,185 meters. A sudden silence swept across the ship. They had never encountered a depth like this before. A deep, seemingly bottomless void beneath the sea. They had stumbled upon what looked like a hidden scar of the Earth itself. That day, without realizing it, the crew of the HMS Challenger wrote the first page of a discovery that would go down in history. Here are two little-known facts. The first measurement was actually incorrect. Currents and rope curvature had not been accounted for, and the idea of mapping the ocean floor originated not from a scientific need, but for military intention. The real purpose was to identify regions suitable for laying underwater cables and optimize naval routes. Years later, in 1951, the British research vessel HMS Challenger 2 wanted to use the newly developed sonar system. Sonar had been invented in the early 1900s and used in the 1940s to detect enemy submarines. It transmits sound waves underwater. They travel until they hit an object and bounce back, allowing one to determine what lies below and how deep it is. They wondered, why not use this technology to map the oceans? It was cheaper and faster than lowering ropes. The most curious question was, how deep was the Mariana Trench really? When HMS Challenger 2 measured it, another astonishing discovery was made. The screen displayed roughly 10,900 meters, the deepest point in the ocean. If we placed a 102-story Empire State Building there, it would look like a toy at the bottom. After this discovery, this deepest point was named Challenger Deep in honor of the ship. People now wanted to know how this trench formed and what it looked like, for it was the deepest location on Earth. There was only one thing left to do: go down there. Chapter 2. The descent into the deep. They now wanted to descend into the deepest part of the Mariana Trench, but there was a massive problem. The pressure at the bottom was 1,000 times greater than normal. This is equivalent to having the weight of 3 Eiffel Towers on top of you. A team visualized this in an experiment. They placed a mannequin head into a pressure chamber and applied extreme pressure. The result was both fascinating and somewhat comical. The mannequin's head dramatically shrank. And the mannequin was made of dense rubber. Imagining what would happen to a human is terrifying. So, they needed a solution. In 1953, the brilliant Swiss physicist Auguste Piccard wanted to be the first human to descend into Challenger Deep. For this, they needed a submersible capable of withstanding extreme pressure. In the early 1950s, Piccard designed the bathyscaphe, a special deep-diving vessel built to endure high pressure. Unlike typical submarines built for horizontal travel, the bathyscaphe was designed for vertical descent and maximum depth. Initial work began in Italy in 1953. In 1954, the first test dives were performed, but they could only reach 3,500 meters. In 1958, the U.S. Navy purchased the vessel, redesigned it, and strengthened it to withstand 11,000 meters. Finally, on January 23, 1960, the Trieste made its historic dive. Auguste Piccard did not join the dive. He was too old by then. Instead, his son Jacques Piccard and U.S. Navy Lieutenant Donald Walsh volunteered. The two would travel for 9 hours in a cramped chamber. The mission was extremely risky, but they were ready. Descending at 3 miles per hour, after 3,000 feet, they were engulfed in total darkness. Then a miraculous event occurred. They saw bioluminescent sea creatures. It felt like a scene from a fantasy world. After about 5 hours, they reached the bottom, 36,000 feet deep. A place 99.9% of humans will never experience. Absolute darkness, the silent unknown. Looking out the tiny window, they saw soft, mud-like sediment and very few marine creatures. The most surprising sight was a flat, white fish, about 30 centimeters long. Scientists believed it was impossible. Fish with bones shouldn't survive that depth, but perhaps science was wrong. Jacques Piccard later wrote, "The answer to a question biologists had asked for decades suddenly appeared before our eyes. Could there be life in the deepest part of the ocean? Yes, life was there, right in front of us." Because of the sediment stirred up during descent, the camera footage became blurry. They had no choice but to ascend, but they had achieved the impossible. Humanity had reached the deepest point on Earth. Of course, the United States wasted no time turning this into a national triumph. After the Soviet Union became the first to reach space in 1957, the U.S. promoted itself in 1960 as the first nation to reach Earth's deepest point. A mission started by a Swiss scientist had been completed by America. The region below 6,000 meters, including their landing site, had long been called the Hodl Zone, named after Hades, the god of the underworld, ruler of the dead. The ocean's darkest, coldest, most irreversible region. The underwater reflection of the realm of the dead. Perhaps this is why the mysterious sound, later recorded in the depths of the Mariana Trench, led some to wonder whether something else lived down there. Chapter 3. The mysterious sounds. In 1997, NOAA captured a unique sound unlike massive ocean noises such as the bloop. This recording could be detected even 3,000 kilometers away. It bore no resemblance to waves, earthquakes, or any known marine creature. Some scientists suggested it might belong to a massive sea creature. Others believed it pointed to an unknown geological event under the ocean floor. But regardless of the theories, no definitive evidence has ever been found. Toward the end of 2014, another strange sound was recorded near the Mariana Trench. NOAA's deep-sea microphones captured a low hum, followed by a rising high-pitched tone. At first, the mystery could not be solved, but after months of analysis, they concluded it was likely an unusual call of Balænoptera acuta-rostrata, the minke whale, or at least the closest match. But one question remained unanswered. Why was this sound heard only during certain periods and only around the Mariana region? To this day, the true source of the mysterious sound and the secrets of the Hadal Zone remain unknown. Perhaps one day, our technology will allow us to uncover the truths hidden behind that darkness. But until then, the Mariana Trench will continue to be one of the greatest mysteries of our planet.